Hello and welcome to Stateside Soccer Show. My name is Jordan Wiegand, and somebody that decided to show up today is Logan Stump.
Oh, there I am.
It's 2 weeks in a row, sir.
Yeah, no, I was like, man, I gotta face the music from the boss today, man. The producer is after me. Yeah, you're the boss. You're the one that produces the show, so I guess you have to be the boss. So I'm ready for the heat, man. I'm ready for the discipline.
Yeah. Well, the discipline is that we have to do this power ranking show. So that is what we are doing. This will come out Wednesday the 19th. So you may have already listened to our show where we probably did one of the same exact openings there as well. But, you know, it is what it is. We actually recorded this first. So there you go. So we're going to be starting with our power rankings for, what is this, week 5, match day 5 or 6? I don't know. It's all thrown off when
6.
they, it's all thrown off when they do that midweek set of games. But yeah, so should I show it first or should I put the team up? How do we want to do this?
Yeah,
start from the bottom, or? Yeah,
you can start from the bottom and then go up.
Because people might be surprised why this team is 5.
Yes. Yeah, let's go with 5 first because I want to start there.
Boom. Same as last week.
Yeah, so when doing the rankings, I texted Jordan. I was like, I don't. It's so tough because while they are in the East the best team, I still think that the games that I've watched have just not been impressed to the point where I'm like, okay, they deserve to be above all these other teams that I think have had a tougher schedule. I know that if you look at their schedule, if you look at the Revs' schedule, it started out easy. I mean, they had a game against the Chicago Fire, which, it isn't a team that you should necessarily draw with, I think, and especially in the fashion that they did it. They go down 2-0 against Chicago in that first season. They then draw with them, grab just a point against Chicago. And when you look at how bad Chicago have been this season, I think that that's a pretty good indication as to, like, this New England team is just not quite there on that scale yet. They beat DC United 1-0. They just squeaked by Atlanta United 2-1, and then they go and lose to Nashville. They draw with the Philadelphia team, which I think is their best result on their schedule right now, just because of how bad the Crew have been. And again, you're looking at a Crew team that's got 5 points, just 1 win. So, like you said, Jordan, I texted you this. I asked you, Orlando 5th, the Revs 4th, and you're like, no, I think that the way that we have it is actually the right one, and other people probably have it the other way around, where the Revs are 4th and the Orlando's 5th. So yeah, I just don't agree with putting them above the teams that have had a really difficult schedule to start with, or have really played well to where it looks like they're starting to kind of figure out exactly what they are in 2021.
I think you have to look no further than the fact that they've played 6 games. Mm-hmm. Orlando's played 5. Orlando's still undefeated. New England has lost a match. If Orlando wins their game that they have in hand right now, they're number 1. Mm-hmm. They'll leapfrog New England to 12. When we look at away results, look, New England has 3 wins at home, so that's pretty good. Whatever. Orlando has 1 win, 2 draws. Away form, though, Orlando has 1 win and a draw, while New England has 2 draws and a loss. So I think that, you could probably flip these any way you want, to be honest, but I think with Orlando being undefeated, I have to give it to them. I mean, or else Orlando fans would be like, wait, we're undefeated. What else can we do?
Right.
Other than maybe have 1 less draw and a win. But we're undefeated. New England's not. Why aren't we on a higher power ranking? And I think when you look at both of their schedules, Orlando started off with Atlanta, SKC. Mm-hmm. Then they had
Cincinnati at home.
But then they had NYCFC. Mm-hmm. And they had that's it,
DC,
right?
DC,
or DC away.
Yep.
So some of them have played the same things. New England did beat Atlanta, I think, in Atlanta.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Or no, they don't have a win away from home, do they?
Oh no, then yeah.
So it was
no,
at home.
It was at home. Yeah, Gillette.
And you drew with Atlanta. Atlanta and Orlando drew. That was week 1, though. SKC, you had a good result there. That was an away draw.
Yep.
DC was the away win, though DC did control a good bit of that match, but New England had to get an own goal to get that. So really, it's a coin flip.
Right.
So I don't think either side could be upset with where we rank them. But I think I agree with you that New England would be number 5. I just haven't seen it yet. And people will say, okay, because I was talking to Jack and AJ about this on Twitter, and they said they look at the Atlanta result and they look at the Philadelphia Union result. I'm not so high on this Union team right now with the way that they've been playing. We went over that on our last show when I said they have to start winning games at home. And they didn't win that one either. They drew. They had to face Red Bulls, and then they won. Not comfortably, though. So it is one of those things where the Union team is up in the air. Now, New England just beat Columbus. Right? Didn't they just beat Columbus?
Yeah, New England beat Columbus 1-0. Yep.
But
this last weekend.
I don't know if that's a quality win at this point. The Union drew with Columbus. Because the Crew have their own problems. So, I mean, we won't really know. That's what I guess is fun about power rankings. I don't know. Is that this thing is going to probably change a lot throughout the course of the season. Let's go number 4, Orlando. I think we just talked about them well enough. I think we can move on.
The one thing I did want to say, another reason why I rank them above New England is Orlando's only given up 2 goals. And they have been, one's a penalty and one was a mistake that was given up in the box that Busio takes away and puts in nicely with. Goals.
So if they win,
Right.
if they don't give up that penalty, they beat NYCFC. That's a huge win for them. So it's this kind of stuff that leads to that. All right, let's go number 3. We mentioned them just a second ago. Sporting Kansas City.
Sporting KC, and the reason why I put this up, the last match they played, while it is Vancouver, I thought that this match was, there's not a lot of teams that if you look at their games that you go, oh my gosh, they really dominated that game. This was one of those performances. This was one of those performances that you look at, and last season they finished really well, but they play a schedule that many thought wasn't great. So you kind of take that with a grain of salt in their performance last year. You come into this season and you're going, okay, so they've got really nice pieces. How do those pieces fit together? And can Busio take the next step? Can Shallowy play well enough to take the next step? And I think that they both did in this match. Gabby Kinda, he was really good. I thought that he played extremely well. Johnny Russell didn't play, so that was another thing that I thought was impressive about the win, was just the fact that they're missing their leader on the pitch and in the locker room, and they go out and beat a team 3-0 and just absolutely pounced on them. Alan Pulido gets 2 goals, so I think that he's off on that scoring mark, and it's scary when he starts to score because I think he's got kind of that same idea that Chicharito has with getting, cleaning up the box really well. So SKC, again, I thought that they've played extremely well this year. I think that, beating a Red Bulls team that looked pretty good up until this last game with Union. Wait, was it Union?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what am I? These midweek games are throwing me way off. They did get pounced on by RSL, but then they beat an Austin team that I thought was pretty good. Played pretty well against Houston, didn't get the result there, but then pounced all over Vancouver. So, again, a streaky team, but a team that I think sits now with 10 points. They are right behind LA Galaxy and Sounders in the West. And so I think that this puts them in a good position to be where they are in my power rankings and above Orlando because they, I think that they look like a good side against Orlando, and it was a good game. But I thought, given another 10 minutes, I thought SKC might have had some chances to win that game too.
All right, number 2.
Yeah, so this one, I will keep picking the Galaxy up this high just because they haven't proven to fall apart like many think they will in defense. I think that was a big concern heading in, was just how good can Greg Vanney be with the defense. I felt like they knew that the attacking, and Vanny figuring out Chicharito, while it is very impressive that Chicharito's just having this bounce back year, you also have to remember how just how good Chicharito is. But an LA Galaxy team that, while they do tend to give up goals, they still are outscoring opponents. And I think it will tighten up defensively. I thought their defense is looking better cohesively. I think Araujo is playing a lot better. And I think they're starting to play with some guys that are mixed up. Did you say something?
I was just saying Araujo.
I was like, what are you doing? So LA Galaxy, Chicharito is having a phenomenal year. And if he continues to score like that, they're going to be hard to beat no matter how many goals they give up.
Yeah, I saw some people saying, that they're a top team for now. I don't know how much longer we can say for now. They're looking pretty real to me, the Galaxy. I mean, I just think that's what happens when you get a coach, and that coach, made it clear to Chicharito that he's going to be there for him, and that helped Chicharito. And at this point, I don't know what else you can do. I think they're pretty real. Let's go number 1. No surprise here.
Yeah, this is really easy. They are, again, I'll keep saying it like you and I have talked about, they are the crew of what we thought the crew was going to be. So, I mean, Seattle has gotten to the point where it's 13 goals scored. You've got just 2 given up. And when you score that many goals and you don't concede anything, you're just way better. And then again, they keep doing this without Nico Ladero. They keep doing things without their best player on the pitch, who is their best creator, who will get goals and get you goals through different passing and different things like that. So again, this Seattle team, with the way that the Roldans are playing, with the way that Atencio is going to play when he's in and healthy, this team, Rui Diaz, Will Bruin, if he's, if he can bounce back from different, all these people are going to have injuries. I think they're the team that can handle it.
There's 3 teams that are undefeated. It's Nashville, it's Orlando, and it's the number 1 team, Seattle. And really, when we look at Seattle, 16 points. It's not even close right now. New England has 11. LA has 12. Seattle can run away with the supporter shield this year if they keep it up. And let me just say, and we'll talk about it on the show too, Stephen Fry being out, they promoted Stephen Cleveland from Tacoma. I talked about that on our other YouTube series, the Closed Pyramid, because I watched some of those Tacoma games and highlights of Tacoma, and he looked really good there too. And I thought he played pretty well in this game. And it is just, they may not even miss a beat right now. And it looks like they haven't, they have 11 goal differential with only giving up 2 and scoring 13. I mean, that's just absurd right now, this early into the season. They're just putting goals past teams every single week. San Jose, yes, there's only 1 goal, right? Portland, they only won by 2. They drew with LAFC, 1-1. In California, but they beat them here at Lumen Field 2-0. And they have Atlanta next. Then they have Austin. Austin can maybe give them a problem. I'm not so sure Atlanta gives them a problem. So, I mean, they can seriously just keep on rolling. And just a testament to Smetzer, testament to the GM, Lagerwey, and what they've been able to put together as a team there. Will Bruin was down for a bit, and I was thinking, well, they can just bring on Montero if he's actually hurt. I mean, so it is just what it is. It's not that – just is what it is. I can't help but admire this team and the way that they play. And LAFC's in some trouble, People were expecting them to be high in power rankings this season, and instead the Galaxy is up there at number 2. I think most people have the Galaxy pretty high on power rankings from what I've seen, because it just makes sense. They're the second best team in MLS right now. Any other last thoughts you want to talk about with any of these teams? I'll show the picture one more time here, because this is your best picture you've done for the power rankings, by the way. Yeah,
I'm going to see this format, I think. I really like the format. But I would say that it wasn't any difficult after this because of, and we'll get into this in this week's episode, it wasn't that difficult because there's a lot of teams that below the Revs, I mean, it's just a bunch of teams that are sitting at 8 points, kind of going, what are we? We don't know what we are. I think there's a couple
MLS,
teams,
baby.
Yeah. There's a couple teams that are a little bit more clear cut, some that are just really struggling to figure out exactly what it is that they'll be. And they're at a really, I think, for an early part of the season, I think this week coming up is a pretty crucial one because you're starting to get closer into this break or closer to this break coming up in June. So you really want to start like these last 3 or 2 games that you have left, I think it is. You want to do well in these matches, but right now I think these are 5 clear-cut favorites, and I'm not sure the teams below them have it quite figured out to try to really make some noise, in the next week. But you give it about 2 or 3 weeks, see where these teams stand. I think we'll have a clear indication at least this first start of the season at like what we're looking at and who should be concerned.
Yeah, so let's go ahead, I guess, wrap it up. We're approaching like that 15, 20-minute mark that we like to keep it around for these power rankings and such. If you want more content, if you didn't hear our episode from this week, that is going to be on the YouTube channel as well. It's already on there by the time you're watching this. Or you can find it on any of your podcasting feeds. Hey, do you like Star Wars, Logan?
I do. I love Star Wars.
We got a Star Wars podcast, too, on 14301 Productions Podcast Network. It's called The Pod Awaken. Sometimes Logan's on it. Right now, it's just me breaking down The Bad Batch on Disney Plus every week. How about the MCU? You a big MCU guy?
Yeah, really big fan. What's going on?
Yeah, of course you are. You've been on the show with us. We have another podcast called To the Infinity Saga and Beyond, and that is all about the MCU. Logan was on there breaking down the Falcon and the Winter Soldier with me. Matt from our Stoppage Time Soccer show was on there as well. I think we're going to have both of you on for Loki, which is starting in less than a month. And yeah, so we got a lot of good stuff going on. We have Stoppage Time Soccer Show, which is all about the EPL. That's winding down. Logan was not on that this week.
Logan's fired from
the last 2 weeks. But he'll be back at some point. We didn't make any promises on the show last week.
Don't.
last episode. But if not, you can follow all the social links in the links below and have a great rest of your week.